I just came back from grocery shopping and I don't understand why prices at the grocery store keep going up. Meat, eggs, milk, cereal, everything keeps going up in price. Interest rates have gone down. Carbon tax has been canceled. Maybe it needs to be canceled further, Mr. Carney. But for real, why are prices continuously going up? This is not okay. This is not like, I'm a single mother. I am a single mother. I have 4 children at home right now. I have 1 salary, 1 income. I cannot afford this anymore. This is ridiculous. I mean, I own my house and my mortgage is probably less than many people are paying rent. I really don't know how anybody is affording anything these days. It's a problem. It's a problem that needs to be fixed. And unfortunately, during this last election, everyone was so focused on Trump and Trump and Trump and Trump and Trump that they forgot that life here in Canada is becoming ridiculously unaffordable. I really hope that this new government can help fix that somehow.
This is a really good report. We have seen the CPI index come down the last few months. It's still above the Federal Reserve's 2% target, but that 2.3%, I mean, that's the lowest annual reading we have seen since February 2021. So this is good news. A couple of the items that stood out to me: shelter, that has been peskily high. That is responsible for a lot of the increase. But groceries, food at home, that actually came down. It was negative 0.1%.
Really?
Eggs was down close to 13% month over month.
It's like a free egg in every dozen.
I know. But a couple of items went up. Vehicle parts up 2.2%. One thing that stood out to me: new cars, no increase, completely flat, which that's where you might expect to see an increase in future months.
So we've been talking about these big tariffs and how they're going to drive up prices. Is that just not happening, or has it not had an effect yet because there's a lag?
It's because there's a lag. So this particular month, remember those tariffs that went in place at the beginning of February, the 10% on goods coming from China that increased to 20% because of the fentanyl? You see that in the vehicle parts. That was up 2.2% monthly. Think about where we get a lot of our vehicle parts. But these broader tariffs that went from 145% to 30% that we just saw, that's really not in there yet because a lot of companies have stockpiled.
So what does it mean for an interest rate cut later in the year?
Any other time, this would say we would get an interest rate cut soon because the labor market is still remaining strong, but inflation's coming down. But the Federal Reserve has said we just don't know what's going to happen with these tariffs, and they don't want to make a preemptive move because of what could be coming.
The price of gas is up close to 6 cents per liter in the Maritimes, along with a hike in diesel by as much as 9 cents. No surprise, consumers are not happy.
There's been promises that the gas would be going down or just things would get less expensive in general, and it hasn't really seemed to happen yet.
Well, here's what it is. I got to buy gas, but, I'd rather not. Maybe if we all just didn't buy gas for a day or two, we'd bring it down.
Prices climbing at the pumps is a recent national trend, according to gas analyst Dan McTeague.
For instance, in Toronto, gasoline was $1.32, $1.33 this time last week. Today it's $1.40.
McTeague says even with the elimination of the consumer carbon tax, prices are climbing because of more expensive summer fuel and the anticipation of increased driving in the warmer season, which impacts supply and demand.
It's really that period of time where we can't ignore the obvious. People are going to be taken to the roads. That's one of the main reasons why we've seen a bit of a surge in the price.
The weak Canadian dollar is also...
Young people live off wages because they haven't had time to build up assets. So naturally, the youth are being totally screwed over by our system, which causes perpetual inflation and dilutes the purchasing power of their wages. So we have to stop that. We have to stop creating more cash and start creating more of what cash buys. That's to say, build more homes, grow more food, produce more energy, so that our money actually goes further.
Question for you. I live in Sudbury, Ontario. It's quite nice. You can see there are some really great places here. I've got an okay job. I make an okay amount of money. Not huge by any stretch. I'm not into the 6 figures, not even close. But the odds of me finding and affording a 2-bedroom apartment for myself and my son, or hell, even coming close to affording a mortgage, are just completely off the table. I have a place with a friend right now, and I'm quite grateful for that. How the hell is anybody supposed to afford to live anymore? What do we do? I work for the government as my day job, and I'm trying to get this acting career going really, really well. But what do we do?
Do you think that $100K as a salary is enough to live in Canada?
No. Vancouver for sure, $250 if you want to live comfortably.
Yes, I think so. I think it is. Yeah, that's about what I make, and I can afford to live in Canada.
I don't think so, especially Vancouver, no.
Considering rent and prices of everything, $100K can be a little tight.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
It's tough for $100K, for sure.
I think it should be, like, to live a comfortable life and pay your bills.
If $100K isn't enough to, feel comfortable, then who is Canada actually affordable to?
No one. Obviously, in the last couple of years, it's gotten more expensive. Like, you're getting groceries, rent skyrocketed too. I don't think it's very affordable.
Definitely not for us just starting out working.
Probably the older generation, yeah.
Rich people, not the working class or the middle class.
Being, a younger generation, it feels unfortunate because we work so hard, and $100K is a lot of money. Like, don't get me wrong, that's a lot of money, but it doesn't go very far nowadays.
Well, I think outside of the big cities, there's still a lot of very affordable places to live.
Canada or Vancouver, because $100K will get you quite far in Canada, but not in Vancouver. It's a tough place to live, but it's very pretty.
Loblaws has come out and announced that consumers can expect drastic price increases soon because of tariffs. Now, I want you to recall back in the pandemic when they took advantage of pandemic inflation to raise their prices through the roof and make record profits for themselves and their shareholders. If there's one thing that Loblaws is good at, it's taking advantage of an inflationary market caused by a crisis in order to inflate prices even further to profit. And they can do this because they have such a massive monopoly over the Canadian grocery market. So here's an actionable step. Email and or call your elected representatives and let them know that you want them to implement price controls on essential goods during times of crisis so that corporations like Loblaws cannot take advantage of those times to raise their prices through the roofs to profit for themselves at the detriment of Canadians.
Guys, I've just been totally had over by Subway. I've just gone in on my lunch. I thought, I forgot my lunch today. I thought, I'll just run to Subway, get a little sandwich. I'll be fine. Please tell me why I've just paid $18 for a sandwich. In what world are we paying $18 for a sandwich from Subway? I'm not okay. I'm not okay. I'm not okay.
Okay, so I live in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and for those of you who don't know, Canada has a serious fucked up inflation problem right now. I just got back from doing groceries, and I have $70 worth of groceries on my table right now, and I genuinely don't even know what I purchased that made it to $70. I had a fucking mini breakdown to my parents the other week, and I started crying, tears. They came in because I was doing a budget, and they were like, how is it? And I was like, tears. I'm working 3 jobs right now. I got out of university last year in December, and I have been fucking grinding it out ever since, just because the cost of living, and I'm not even really saving that. I'm not saving anything really, but the cost of living is outrageous in Canada. And it's just I was telling my parents, it's just so frustrating that you do all the right things, you go to university, and then you come out, you get a job, whatever, and you can barely fucking afford rent. I talk about it with my friends all the time, but we're just fucking sticking together right now because it's brutal out there.
The cost of housing in Canada is getting out of control. And at the same time, I've got 5 kids. And sometimes it gets a little hectic in the house. So we've spent some money and built an addition to our house. So here's our new apartment for the kids. Fast asleep. Like little babes. So sweet. And it's only $1,000 a month. Cheap.
As many of you guys already know, I'm very well off, but I gotta tell you, things are so expensive right now. I don't know what the hell happened and how it happened so fast. And here's a perfect example. Here's my natural gas bill, right? There's a customer charge, there's the delivery fee, there's the carbon tax, then there's the gas supply charge. So that's how much I actually used. I used $97. The carbon tax is literally 100%. It just doubled my bill. Well, Effectively, it doubled my usage. The insurance on my wife's BMW is just as much as it is on my Ferrari. Like, that's how crazy things have gotten. And I gotta be honest, it's not even like it's like a luxurious BMW. And I know that might sound contradictory. It's a 3 Series. It's a nice car, but it's just so much. My property tax bill came in for the house. I think it was $16,000. I think the insurance for my house was $3,000 or $4,000. I think all my cars combined, maybe it was $12,000, $14,000 for the year. I can't remember. I have to prepay my taxes every single year. The government wants their pound of flesh before I make my money. I won't even tell you how much that is. And then groceries, we literally spend about $4,000 a month. We have 3 boys. I mean, I'm a pretty decent sized guy. I eat a lot. I eat about 4,000 calories a day. So the amount of food we consume is quite a lot. And I know I shouldn't be complaining. And I know you're probably like offended by the fact that I'm complaining, but how do you people do it? How do people survive? Like, I don't understand. And if you're single and you're surviving out on your own, honestly, man, like, my deepest respect for you. It's crazy out there.
Shopping in Canada is brutal. Like, it's actually brutal. Stuff is so expensive, but you don't even realise it until you get home and you check what you've spent and you're like, how? Like, I've literally just got out. I didn't want to get that much. And I went out to get some jars. I wanted to have a look in Value Village because I just love a good thrift. Thrift? I can't say thrift. It's a charity shop, okay? I love a good charity shop. And next thing I know, I've spent like, how much did I spend today? I've spent like $150. And I went to Dollarama, Value Village, and Bulk Barn. That's it. And I've spent $150. Like, I actually need money. It's just so expensive. I had a look. I spent, right, Dollarama is like the equivalent of B&M. If you're from England, you'll know. It's the equivalent of B&M. You go in there, you pop in for one bit. That's it. You pop in, you've got like 3 things you need to get. You come out, $70 later, and you're like, what? I literally just popped in. And everything that I'm getting, I'm like, oh yeah, that's only $3. Whack it in. $2.50. Whack it in. Next thing you know, I had a basket as well. I didn't even have a trolley. I had a basket. Next thing I know, I spent $70 in Dollarama. How? Couldn't tell you. Then I went to Bulk Barn. Obsessed, by the way. Like, England is missing a trick with that. Bulk Barn is just the best thing in the world. However, went there, and all the times that I've ever gone, max my total has been like $12. So this time I was like, okay, yeah, like, I'll go, and I had a few things to get. Next thing I know, $50. I was like, ¿Qué pasa? Yeah. And then where else did I go? I went to Value Village and I got some Levi jeans for $6. That was the best like find of my whole day. Oh, and I bought this for my little, like, I'm gonna make little like desserts in them, and then like freezer desserts, and you pop them out. And that was $4, which I thought was quite good. Which is quite cute. And then yeah, literally Levi denims for $6. Are you kidding me? I just hope they fit. I can't figure out my size here, because it's not like 8, 9, 10, 12 as we know it in the UK. It's like pant sizes are like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, but they're like all different in different stores. Like, no, there's not like, I don't know, I don't feel like it's universal, because every store that I go to, I'm like a different pant size. Anyway, why am I calling them pants as well? Sorry, trouser size. Yeah, $6. That's my little receipt in the pocket. But $6 for those? Are you joking? Buzzing? They better fit. If they don't, I'm gonna have to fucking lose some weight. But yeah, it's mad shopping in Canada, because next thing you know, yeah, like $200 gone. And don't even get me started on Winners. Winners and HomeSense, if you step in there, game over. I've never walked out of there spending less than $200 when I've popped in for a mosey. I've only popped in to have a mooch, and I come out like $200 down. Most times it's $200 to $300 down. I avoid that place like the plague, because I know if I go in, I'm coming out broke. So yeah, that place is just lethal. But shopping in Canada is hardcore. It's hardcore. And then obviously you've got to get a little Starbies on the way home. Like, you can't, like, or on the way there, like, you can't do all your shopping without a little Starbies. So I'm like, that's another like $20 down the drain. Starbucks here is like wildly expensive. So that's another $20. And I'm like, shit, guys. I need to make some more money.
Why is life in Canada getting so damn expensive? No, here's the deal. Housing is a challenge. There aren't enough homes. Labor's in short supply for the growth. There's too much red tape, and net zero building codes are significant expenses, and costs are still fluctuating. Investors are still trying to buy up available homes, causing rents and prices to continue climbing. Prices have surged across the board for groceries, gas, and phone bills. They've all increased since COVID lockdowns disrupted supply chains. Now, when you add in a war and reckless energy policies into the mix, it creates a perfect storm for inflation. And the Bank of Canada solution? Sky-high interest rates. Now your mortgage or car loan or student debt costs way more. That's great. Meanwhile, minimum wage has moved up to offset this. But unless you're in tech or trades, it's probably not enough. Sadly, that causes prices to climb too. I mean, wait, what happened to the happy balance that we once had? I mean, groceries, mobile phone bills, a few big companies run the show, and they're charging premium prices because they can without more competition. And with food, since we import a number of food products from outside of Canada, global price hikes hit us harder. Energy bills, they're up, thanks to higher fuel prices and taxes, and especially, these lovely green fees. Just keeping the lights on feels like a luxury now. Plus, Canada's population is growing too fast, but housing and essential services, they can't keep up. More people and a limited ability to grow equates to higher prices. So, yeah, it's not just you. Life really is more expensive in Canada, and you're supposed to be in charge. Either governments fell asleep at the wheel, or they're driving us off a cliff. You know what? I don't think Canada's unaffordability is by accident.
See, not many things piss me off, but when I go to the store and I see deodorant for $20, who are we deodorizing? The Incredible Hulk? Who do you think I am? A total body for who? It's not my body, I'll tell you that. Okay? My body, my choice. Sunscreen for $24 on sale. Is this for astronauts? Are you going to be up close and personal with the sun? Are you going to be flying up there saying, hey, how's it going? How you doing? I thought, let me get a bag of chips. Sit back and relax, watch a movie tonight. $5. Wallahi, my night's not worth that much. I wanted to buy garbage bags, $7.99. On sale. By the way, mind you, I should have got a lottery ticket this morning. It's my lucky day. I'll pick up every piece of trash in my house and walk it to the dump one by one. I'll pick up one, walk. Come back, pick up the other, walk. Is there a shortage of Maltesers that I'm not aware of? 11.49? Is it gonna come to life and hug me? Is that what it's gonna do? Because I need a hug right now.
Can I just move in with you? What's it like in Canada? Cold and expensive. It is cold and expensive. It is -10. Gas is $7 a gallon. Oh, but I heard people in Canada are so it's cold and expensive. Oh, but don't you have universal? It is cold and expensive.
One thing that I didn't really consider when moving abroad, I'm English, I live in Canada, specifically Vancouver. Why the fuck are groceries outrageously priced? I've been saying this for the longest time, but I can't do this anymore. I actually think I'm just gonna have to starve. $15 for 2 pieces of chicken? I'm sorry? I went to go get a sirloin steak because I'm in my locked-in health era. 1 piece. 1 sirloin. $17 to $20. Cheers. Can't do this anymore. I want to just keep buying my clothes and all the fun things that I want to do, but instead I have to buy groceries because apparently I need to eat. I'm just gonna Uber Eats every day instead. Is that healthier? Is that more efficient? I don't know. Anyway.
This is how unaffordable it is to live in Canada right now. So I went to engineering school, graduated, and got a great job working in the engineering consulting industry, and I have a good wage. My boyfriend also works in engineering and has a great wage. But when we graduated and moved downtown, we weren't able to save any money because the cost of living is so high. Now, I have saved for a down payment in the last couple years, and I'm ready to buy property, which is super exciting. But what that took was hustling my ass in the evenings, building my social media, and doing brand deals. And I got into a throuple in the past 2 years. So I split my rent 3 ways. But is that the standard? Do you have to work 2 jobs and be poly to survive in this economy? Because that works for me. But I don't know if everyone wants that.
A few years ago, I remember there were videos of Canadian citizens like sitting in their cars crying about the high cost of living, that they cannot afford groceries or like basic necessities. I didn't really understand it at the time because the last time that I went to Canada, like 7 years ago, it was perfectly affordable for me. But last week, I went to Montreal and I completely understand now. I was really ill prepared for the trip, so once I actually went there, I had to buy these basic necessities like toothpaste, toothbrush, body wash, things like that. And when I saw the prices for these items in their grocery store, my jaw dropped. I kid you not, but body wash was $14, toothpaste was like $12, like one toothbrush was like $7. And some people will say, well, you get paid in USD, the currency is stronger. But what about the people who get paid in CAD? That's not really an excuse because the price itself is crazy for the people who actually live there. And another crazy thing that I noticed was the tax. Like, tax in Canada is crazy. I remember I ordered these two items on Uber, which together was like $13. Y'all, tell me why they added $10 tax on these two small items. Throughout my time being there, I just found it absurd that like the price that I initially thought I was going to pay was nowhere near what I actually ended up paying. And of course, this is me speaking as a New Yorker, but I found New York City a lot more affordable than Montreal. And maybe I didn't know the proper places to go. But for example, for the basic necessities, I went to a couple of stores and the price did not get better. But another thing is that I've noticed prices skyrocket in general. When I was living in Buffalo and traveling to Toronto very often, it was so I can get this particular service by this Canadian practitioner. And I recently thought that I would go visit her again. Her price almost tripled, you guys. So it's not just with like these basic necessities, it's with everything. My friends who live in Montreal as well was talking about how expensive it is for them to rent an apartment there. It's almost the same price as it would be in New York City, but the pay is nowhere near what you would get here. And so, yeah, I don't know what has happened to Canada in like these last 7 years, but I was completely shocked when I went there and saw what I saw. So now I understand those videos where people were like crying and asking for help, pleading, like, what is going on?
I'm poor. Everyone's poor. We're all poor. Everything is expensive. I have started stealing though.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Go on.
Sorry, Galen Weston.
I've heard of friends either just ringing out everything is bananas. 4011, that's the code for it. The grocery store code, and you're typing it in. I've also heard of people grabbing the little paper bags that you put mushrooms in and filling it with fancy cheese.
Oh.
Yeah.
Never use a basket.
Oh.
Always use a tote bag. So you fill up the tote bag, you get to the self-checkout, you just empty the tote bag. Oops, did I leave the most expensive item in there and forget to pay for it?
Yeah.
Like, you realize when you're at home, of course.
Right.
But then it's too far to go back.
That's right. How ridiculous is it that cost of living in Canada's got so bad that we're just sitting here on a comedy podcast, just fully just being like, 15 years ago, people would be like, you deserve to go to jail. That is so untactful. Now everyone's like, fuck yeah.
I know.
Get him. Yeah.
I know. It's not even about the excitement. Because before, when I would steal, it would just be like, this is exciting. I'm doing something wrong. Now it's like, I actually will die if I don't steal this chicken.
Right.
Canada, let me ask you a serious question. Do you guys really find joy in paying for things that are super expensive? Like, come on. Like, the reason I'm saying this is because that a friend of mine went to Nova Scotia the other day, and he went to Costco to purchase a case of water, right? The same case of water that we pay in Ontario for $3, he paid $10 for it. Now, if I'm wrong, please tell me I'm wrong in a comment. That case, it's a case of water of 40 cases in total inside of it. He paid $10. The initial price is $6 plus tax, $10. That same case of water costs $3 in Ontario. Now, for us in Ontario, we're crying about the price is the excessive price, but you got people over there in Nova Scotia that are paying like triple that amount or quadruple that amount. How does that make sense? And the crazy part about it is, when I took a look into the poll, the entire Nova Scotia area, it's all liberal. So please tell me, do we really like to pay for things that are so expensive? Like, seriously, like in housing, like even in water? Like, really?
If you live in Canada, I would just like to know, what is going on, y'all? What is going on with these prices? I just went grocery shopping to pick up a few small things. Let me show you what $60 worth of groceries in Canada looks like. Okay, and half of these items were on sale. They weren't full regular price. So we got a $13 pack of chicken thighs, a smaller, like regular sized carton of eggs, some broccoli on sale, zucchini, almond creamer, berries, which were also on sale because you know if these weren't on sale, it'd be an extra almost $15 for these damn berries, okay? Blueberries, strawberries, 2 mangoes, which were already on sale. Grape tomatoes, which were on sale, tomatoes, peppers, 2 cucumbers, skewers, aluminum foil, and a thing of ginger ale. Tell me why this is $60. Tell me why this is mostly vegetables. Tell me why. Why? I need to get out of here, y'all.